This is Amma and I, published in 2018 by Lead Start Publishers. I hope you enjoy the few pages. Sometimes it takes a stranger to wake you up from your slumber and discover the person you truly are. I'm 68 years old, and when I look back at my life, I realize that I truly started living after the age of 22, after I met Ashok. Phase 1, Kerala. I wake to see reality in all its uncertainty. Hurt and distraught, with dodgy steps I walk towards the path ahead, but there is someone with me, a person I did not see, now I replaced with we. Together we shall journey into unfamiliar territory. Chapter 1, The Pillars. Maya, where are you? Yelled Kripa. You need to have been ready by now. The pillars will arrive soon. Maya looked at herself in the mirror and wondered which man on earth would ever be attracted to her. Her hair was plaited in a long, never-ending plait with a middle parting. Her sari was a dark blue kanjivaram. It looked beautiful on her. However, Maya would have preferred wearing something more young-looking. She had a large red dot in the middle of her forehead. Her light brown eyes searched the mirror for a glimpse of beauty the man might see. Her eyes traced the lines of her sharp nose. She felt it was too pointy. The kohl that lined her eyes was the only ounce of makeup she was allowed to put on her face. She tried to part her lips, smiling slightly, but then closed her mouth immediately, completely rejecting the vision. She was just about to turn away from the mirror when her mother barged in, holding what seemed like a never-ending lot of mullapu. "Maya, you look gorgeous," exclaimed her mother. Maya had been hearing this ever since she was born, but she had always wondered whether her mother and relatives were actually referring to her or just her color. Maya was of fair complexion, which was considered to be a rare and sought-after quality if you were born into a South Indian family. Kripa took some bopins in her hand and began attaching the flowers onto Maya's hair. "Amma, do I have to wear so many?" inquired Maya, feeling agitated. Kripa let out a laugh. "Mole, you just wait until your wedding. These bunch of flowers will feel like a drop in the ocean." "Amma, how can I get married? I do not know how to interact with a man. I have never been allowed to do so for so many years. I do not even know what to say." Kripa turned her daughter around to face her and in a calm tone responded, "I know all this will feel new and uncertain, Maya, but this is how it has been done for generations now. Do not worry. Trust me." Kripa studied the constant frown on Maya's forehead. She knew how unnerved her daughter would be feeling at this moment, but she had done a lot of research on Ashok, and after what she had heard, Kripa was sure he would make a good life partner for Maya. For 22 years, Maya had witnessed the same routine at home. Her father went out to work while her mother was at home cooking or cleaning or visiting relatives. This might be the lifestyle they enjoyed, but Maya always dreamt for more and wanted more from her life. It was not that her family was against education or working. In fact, Maya was an MA in English literature. It was just that it had to be done from the boundaries of their hometown. Maya had wanted to go to Delhi to do her master's from SDW, South Delhi Women's College, which was one of the most reputed colleges in Delhi. But at the mere suggestion, there was an outbreak of World War III at home, where her mother burst into tears and her father lectured her about how girls get corrupted if they live away from their family before marriage. So Maya never brought up the topic and studied at the place chosen by her parents. "Mom, you need to relax, really. I have got this all figured out. It is my whole life after all. Why would I make the wrong decision?" Ashok said to his mother for the millionth time, trying to reassure her that his decision for this marriage was not a hasty one. He looked out of the jeep at the luscious greenery and took a deep breath, allowing the air to fill his lungs. "Ashok, wear the scarf. You don't know what kind of pollutants are there," exclaimed Smita. She and her husband Anand Pillai had been living in America for the past 30 years. He was an engineer and he worked with one of the most reputed IT companies in America. Smita was a socialite. She enjoyed the loud kitty parties and sometimes, according to Ashok, liked to pretend extremely snobbish. She felt this added on to the image of being rich. Anand, on the other hand, was jovial and down to earth. He didn't care much about making a show of things. But the one thing he was most proud of was his son, Ashok. Ashok was born in America, and after spending most of his childhood and education there, he began traveling the world. He was a hotelier, and the world of wines and food was his weakness. He traveled to various locations, tasting their produce and making notes and writing about the same. Although his chosen profession was frowned upon by his relatives, Ashok was grateful that he had the unwavering support of his parents throughout. He worked for a few years in the Rose Garden Hotel, which was considered a five-star property, after which he left it all and settled down in Paris, where, along with one of his friends, Samuel, he started up a restaurant called Kerala Specials. It offered the most authentic and unique forms of food preparations found in Kerala, and only after a short year it created a mark on everyone's palate. Ashok always had a soft spot for Kerala, though he visited the place only during his vacations, but something about Kerala just made him attached to it. He could never begin to explain whether it was his grandparents' love or the peace he felt the moment he arrived here. Kerala was home for Ashok. In fact, his love and appreciation of this cuisine was developed because of his grandmother's cooking. And after having traveled a few places, he used to say the same thing: there is nothing like Mallu cuisine. Smita was very apprehensive about this match. She wanted someone who was more well traveled and modern for her son. Although the Menons were one of the most reputed families in their community, since they were estate owners, wealth was not the issue. She felt they would not be classy enough for them. This proposal had come through one of their relatives, and Smita was not even inclined to show Maya's photo to Ashok. It just so happened that when Ashok was visiting his parents, he came across her photo and began inquiring about her. There was something about Maya that appealed to him, and he put his foot down that he had to meet her. And so, with packed bags and uncertainty, the Pillais were down in Kutyadi to meet the Menons. Kutyadi was a small town in the northern part of Kerala. It was a beautiful, luscious, green town with a river flowing through. Every time Ashok visited Kerala, he would get lost in its beauty. It was his first visit to Kutyadi, and he was glad he made his way here. Thank you all for being a part of the reading session of Amayinai. Those were just the first few pages. If you would like to know more about what happens in Kripa, Maya and Ashok's journey, please do get your copy either at the My Secret Bookshelf online bookstore or at Amazon. Thank you. I'm super thrilled to be a part of the Frankfurt Book Fair, and I'm grateful to My Secret Bookshelf for giving me an opportunity to be part of this platform. So I'm Trishna Damodar, and I'm from India. I was born in Mumbai, and I've been raised both in India and overseas, various places. I started off my career as a hotelier, and my love for the changing environment in the service industry made me driven and passionate about the hospitality industry. After a few years, I had to part ways due to health reasons, post which it took me a while to find something that I was equally passionate about. And once I stumbled upon words, or words came into my life, it gave me a completely new direction, and I never looked back. So it's been 8 years since this wonderful journey has begun, and I have published 2 poetry books,
and two novels. The first one being Bag Exchange, and the second is Amma and I. Of course, there are many, many more on the way, and I hope you all will be part of me on this journey. I wish all of you a lot of hope and love, and I hope everyone is safe and good, and wish everyone good health. Thank you. Have a nice day.